Welcome to SunDogs Present Local Vibes. We are SunDogs, your two favorite canines, a.k.a. Good Boys, a.k.a. Fly Boys, a.k.a. the Brothers Hound. We hope your weekend has been good. We hope it's been going well. It was worded terribly. Hope your gift shopping is done. Hopefully you don't still have some to do. Follow us at SunDogs TC. The Facebook page for the radio show is SunDogs Present Local Vibes.
We're joined in the studio today by VLAD G.
Yeah, bow wow, yeah.
Bow wow is right.
Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for taking the time. Before us, you were listening to the WFNU 94.1 FM music rotation. All that funky music most likely has something to do with Minnesota.
Usually.
At least it's supposed to.
It's supposed to. Real quick, you can follow VLAD G at The Real VLAD G. That's The Real, VLAD G. Just the letter G. Precisely, and that's what WFNU is all about. Back to what we were saying is, I'd say 99% of the time, the music has something to do with Minnesota. Whether the artist still currently resides here, or...
It's a local DJ spinning it.
Exactly. Or it's like the song Funky Town, you know what I mean?
So if you're a local artist and you've got radio-ready music, that means no curses, no craziness.
Exactly.
Send it to station manager at WFNU. If you've got clean hip-hop or R&B music, send it to your boys.
Yes. SunDogsTC at gmail.com. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
Friday nights. I'm getting ahead of myself. Friday nights are kicked off with SunDogs Present Local Vibes at 6 p.m. every single Friday. After us, Beneath the Remains is at 7 p.m. Friday nights.
And then Get the Gravy Hot with Gall Dagburn, Fridays at 9 p.m. Basic Beats with DJ Dom Terrace, you already say these? Friday at 10 p.m.
Club 120 Plus with Sid DeLuca, Fridays at 11 p.m. My producer is saying we might have a volume issue.
Oh, on what?
YouTube perhaps?
Oh, no.
Club 120 Plus replay with Sid DeLuca, Fridays at 11 p.m. If I didn't already say that, make sure to catch Midday Escape with Philip Gracia, Fridays and Saturdays at noon. The morning program with Dr. Rick Burnett, weekdays at 7 a.m. The Extra Dimension with Ian R. Buck, Sundays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. The 9:45 show, 9:45 both Wednesdays and Saturdays. Thursdays at 3 p.m. is T. Fraser's Motivational Talks. And Hits and History of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, also hosted by Dr. Rick Burnett, is live every Monday with replays every day at midnight. I know what you're doing at midnight, so play this. It's a phenomenal program, including, Funk to Your Ears, another great program here on WFNU, one of the premier programs. Shout out to the station managers, not only for keeping all of the clerical work done, but producing some great content and shows on their own. So thank you guys again. 94.1 FM WFNU. Other programs that focus on the trove of phenomenal music here in the Twin Cities include, but are not limited to, the Soda Sound radio show hosted by, Half Pint and Nacho Suave of the B&D crew. We had Nacho Suave in, I want to say, 4 or 5 months ago. You can check out his episode in the archives. The Soda Sound radio show, can be found on Facebook. Just look up Soda Sound, SOTASOUND. The Minneapolis podcast, hosted by the Heartbreak Kid, the Millennial Man, Logan Michaels. You can find that on YouTube. Just type in Minneapolis podcast, Logan Michaels. Every Friday on Mixcloud, DJ Buster Baxter holds it down with the DJ Buster Baxter Show. Walrus the Human holds it down with the Walrus the Human Show. You can find that on YouTube. I believe the B&E YouTube. You might be able to find replays of the Soda Sound radio show on there as well. The Say No Mo podcast. I think it's on Facebook Live predominantly, but you could also find it on Spotify perhaps. Also check out Live on Lake Street and Waterwave TV. Like we were saying a little bit earlier, thank you for your patience, VLAD G. He is sitting in the hot seat in the local artist spotlight. We know he's not Santa because he's sitting here, although you have kind of the Kris Kringle off-season look going on. The red blazer, I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Make sure to follow him at The Real VLAD G. That's where you can find everything VLAD G, not just stay up to date with the multitude of art that's going on in his life, but be the first to know personal updates as well. I'm not sure how personal you get with The Real VLAD G Instagram, but...
Trying to have a good balance between that, too.
Okay.
The stuff I'm doing, as well as kind of like showing, like, how's life going. Like,
yeah, people tend to listen when you share your soul. Last interview we had was Prime and PM in the studio. Next week, we've got Monopole Joe in the studio. Replays of SunDogs present local vibes, exclusive content, and exclusive performances can be found at anchor.fm/local vibes on YouTube at our page, SunDogs TC, and on Spotify. Just type in SunDogs present local vibes. There are 4 ways you can listen to SunDogs present local vibes live. 1, 94.1 FM on your dial within the Frogtown neighborhood. That is St. Paul, Twin Cities. 2, wfnu.org/live to listen live. 3, if you search WFNU, Frogtown Community Radio, on the Live 365 app, you can listen on that app with a Wi-Fi connection from anywhere in the world. And 4, you can listen live on YouTube, like we're doing right now. Hello, YouTube.
Sorry, the volume's so weird.
Sorry, the volume's weird. If it is weird,
like a
maybe.
crazy hum.
Oh, interesting.
There are 4 ways you can listen to SunDogs present local vibes live.
Yeesh. My producers say just keep going. Sorry about that, listeners, if we do have a hum. Again, new shows are Fridays at 6 p.m. Replays are Mondays at 3. That's only on the radio. You can go to YouTube and find the archive. Go to anchor.fm to find the archive. Go to Spotify to find the archive. Anytime you please. Follow us at SunDogs TC. Follow VLAD G at The Real VLAD G. And now is the time to call in. 651-313-5125 is the studio phone. 651-313-5125 here on the studio phone. Ask VLAD G a question. Ask him gift ideas, because I know you've left it off to the last minute, or your family Christmas, isn't until next week. So give us a call, 651-313-5125. We'll tell you some of our favorite holiday traditions. If you don't swear, we'll put you on the air. Again, more information can be found at The Real VLAD G. That's VLAD G's predominant account. Do you have any websites for like Project Philo or for Chose Mindset or anything?
Yo, shout out Project Philo.
Yeah,
that's the creative collective I'm a part of. This is a really great. Man, it's a lot of international like creatives and some creatives here
it's
as well.
It's not just
man.
3 people.
No, it's a pretty big group. I'll get into that a little bit, and then Chosen Mindset's kind of like my own brand that I've been developing. So, there's not a huge amount of content on there yet, but I've had that vision for that brand for a couple of years now. So now I'm kind of have a better direction.
That's so cool. I really look forward to talking about that and to kind of getting a snapshot of you on the rise in all these different arenas.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
So there's a few, real quick, last chunk of business before we get into it. There's a few events going on in the Twin Cities that we'd like you to check out again. Please be, virus-friendly, virus-aware. These include, but are not limited to, the Urban Lights open mic at Urban Lights in St. Paul, hosted by VLAD G and a.k.a. Kobe, every first Thursday of the month. I'm going to say from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. It doesn't hurt to show up early. And just to check out the museum that is Urban Lights. the store/museum/venue, you could say. The Freight Room open mic at the Depot Coffee House in Hopkins, hosted by Good Boy. That's every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then every Monday, because we know you're working weekends, every Monday at the Red Sea in Minneapolis, DJ Cam Jones is holding it down from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., always with something. I'm going to say it's like a variety residency, a variety show residency, because sometimes it's an open mic, sometimes it's a straight performance, sometimes it's a little mixture of the two, would you say so?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. And then give us a call, 651-313-5125. Again, 651-313-5125. SunDogs TC is where you can follow us. The real VLAD G is where you can follow our guest. I made that rhyme. I love vowels. And I think that should be it. We really, 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 really appreciate you sitting down with us again. It's an honor to get this scheduled amount of time to kind of get to know you, to kind of dive in deep. We'll try and lock down perhaps your next appearance before we part ways.
The old chord on chord, baby. So yeah, you're from Minneapolis, Southside?
Yeah, South Minneapolis, man. I wasn't born there, but I grew up in South Minneapolis. I was actually born in New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, but I did all of my schooling here, so, South Minneapolis.
Grew
really,
up, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's really molded my character,
Very cool, very cool. And we like to get everybody's origin story, superhero style. I know you've done a couple of interviews, some talking about you being a drummer before you got into this. That was probably some of the earliest stuff, but we want to know for sure all the previous AKAs or like rap names or producer names. We want it from all the way back, as well as like what kind of got you into music.
And then like the earliest, the major art influences on your life, whether it was the records your parents played or like a trip to a museum.
Man, wow, like that's like going through my life basically.
Yeah.
I'll say like my first real introduction to music would be when I got in a band as a drummer in 5th grade.
And the band was called?
Oh no, actual band in school, grade school. Okay. You could play an instrument.
In the percussion.
I like hip hop, rap. Let me start playing on some drum, making some beats. We already did it with pencils back then, so I picked up a pair of sticks, and then that's what got me into music. And then throughout school, I always played snare drum. I learned a couple other instruments as well, playing the bass drum. And then 6th grade, I kind of made a song. Nothing serious.
Did you record it, or just you wrote it sheet music style, or remembered it?
I think I recorded it back then. It was called Air Force Eagles. It was really it was one of those fun, songs I did with my friends and
with lyrics, not just an instrumental.
Yeah, I was singing. I was Air Force Eagles, Air Force Eagles, where are my Eagles? It was
5th grade.
Yeah, no, this was 6th grade.
Okay.
But yeah, because the park communities always had Eagles, and I was on the football team as well. So I don't know, man, but tied into that. And then and then in high school I got into writing actual poetry. So high school was when I think my freshman years when I was just really good at writing poetry.
Because I assume that's when they teach you verse. That's when they show you all these great poetry. Or did you stumble across it yourself, or was it brought up in an 8th or 9th grade class, saying check out this iambic pentameter, or check out this 4-line stanza standard?
Honestly, I don't even think it was that. I think it was just, to be honest, I started writing poetry, but the first time I wrote a poem was for a girl, and and she liked it, and
that's positive reinforcement right there.
So then I was okay, so I kept writing poems because she liked them, and I was actually good at them. And then that kind of went into me trying to write verses, but I never really got into like writing raps
Some more
throughout
so
high
just
school.
like free form poetry.
Yeah. And then I actually, like, senior year in high school, I got into actually spoken word. And, like, I did spoken word in front of my high school. I went to South High in Minneapolis, so I did spoken word, like, during, like, Black History Month. And I was really good at that. And then when I was kind of, like, wrapping up, like, high school is when I kind of, like, started freestyling and just having fun. And then I don't want to say I didn't really start trying to write music until like 2017. But like I didn't do it seriously until just like last year. At least trying to see where I can go with it until last year. So my first time like actually rapping like a studio and all that was just like last year. And,
as VLAD G.
As VLAD G, yeah. And the VLAD G name came from like the homies calling me that in high school. And
Yeah, we didn't miss any previous names. You didn't have a pen name for your
And
poetry.
like, what was the group that you recorded that first song in 6th grade with? What'd you guys call yourselves?
Air Force Eagles.
The Air Force Eagles, dude.
That would have been like the band name in the group. It was probably like a 3-week thing.
And you wrote the Air Force Eagles anthem.
Yeah,
I had
the
song,
anthem.
pretty much.
I probably got to like bring that back somehow. I don't know. We'll see. But
And then was just like first name, last name for the poetry stuff that like introduce
as
you
far
on
as the
stage.
Like spoken word stuff?
my
Yeah.
spoken word and poetry, I think, it was just Vlad. I don't even think it was a G attached to it. And like my rap name, it's funny because we'll get into Chosen Mindset. Originally, I think I was gonna have my rap name be like Chosen Mindset, but then I was like, man, I don't really like that. It sounds too like conscious.
Preachy, yeah.
And then like
We'll get into that after the break. We gotta take a break in like 5 seconds.
If you're just joining us, we're sitting down with VLAD G, just climbing the tip of the iceberg. We'll be right back here on SunDogs Present.
Local vibes.
Welcome back to SunDogs Present Local Vibes. We're sitting down with potential macaroni and cheese lover VLAD G. Before the break, we were talking holiday plans, but we're going to get right back into it. Talking about the origins of the name VLAD G. You said your friends had called you that
yeah, man.
for a while.
Yeah, friends called me that. Like, my full name is Vladimir. I mean, not many people really call me that, but yeah, the homies in high school, yo, Vlad G, what up, Vlad G? It's like, okay, I mean, like, I'm black. Vladimir is clearly not a black name. Vlad G kind of sounds like urban, I guess. And so, let me just make that the artist name. So, and then that way I can kind of like, with my music, I can like, be myself, I guess. I don't have to create a persona. And I think that's kind of what I've tried to do with like music, is not try to have to create a whole separate persona for my music and myself. Like, when I make music, it's about, I like for just having fun, you know what I mean? So.
Nice. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You were talking about conscious mindset. Chosen mindset. I was like, yeah, conscious mindset's even worse. No, chosen mindset. Yeah, so that's what is that right now? That's still an Instagram page right now.
Yeah, that's my that's my brand name. Like, and I've had this since 2017. I think 2017. So 2017 is actually the year I started collecting records and vinyls, and then like the year I started writing a lot more. Like, I got back into writing poetry and just really got back into like my creative bag. And so Chosen Mindset was kind of like the name that I made. And originally it was actually a poetry page. So I actually have a poetry page. If you go chosenmindset.poetry, you'll go on there, you'll see a bunch of inspirational posts. You'll see at the bottom, you'll see some like inspiring writing from me and like poems. And so like it started off as a vision to just inspire creatives to just kind of like dive into their passions. And so now it's kind of like I'm working on just developing that brand and just bringing creative ideas people are passionate about and trying to bring it to life. So it's like not only my own creative projects, but at some point it'll be like I'll work with people and helping them produce their own creative project.
That's the
Nice.
That's the dream.
So, it really is, and it's fun, So
What was you said almost suddenly in 2017 you got back into it. What was the epiphany, or did you listen to a great album or watch a really influential movie or go through a breakup perhaps?
That's a good question. I came back, honestly, from Vegas. I just had a Vegas trip. I came back to Minneapolis with my pops, and then I went, I didn't take enough break from the trip and then work, and so I had a really bad mental breakdown where I was just tired of the job I was working. I was just overwhelmed with life. I think I was in school at the time or something like that, and then while I was trying to just get back on my feet, I started writing poetry, thinking about all the stuff that I love, all of the hobbies, coping mechanisms, and music was a big part of that. Poetry was a big part of that, and so I started collecting records, and that's kind of how I discovered Urban Lights existed. Was collecting records. It's funny how everything ties in together. But
thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim. That story's crazy.
Yeah. It's so crazy how I connected with Tim and found out that store existed, because I went to Best Buy one day to just buy some headphones, and I met Tim's nephew. His name is Kevin, and me and Kevin were still super tight to this day. But
worked there or just was there?
Yeah, Kevin was working there. We weren't friends prior or anything. I was
That's
I want
so
some
funny.
headphones. He told me about these Sony headphones. Told him I collect records, and I'm buying a whole vinyl player, some this Tupac vinyl, and then he was telling me about Urban Lights, and then it's funny, I helped Kevin get a job. At that time I was working at Comcast. I helped Kevin get a job at Comcast, and then checked out Urban Lights, and it was the best record store I've ever seen. Aesthetically, those posters of all these hip hop paintings, autographs everywhere, mad throwback records. I'm yo, this is different. And there's a lot of good record stores here. Cheapo, Electric, Fetus. There's the one in was it
Agartha off of University?
I don't know if I've been to that one. There's one in Golden Valley that's really good too. Not Golden Valley, Hopkins. Is it Mill City Records? Something like that. But
Solid State, I think, is out maybe down in the valleys in Golden Valley.
But there's a few good ones, but not, like you're saying, none to the aesthetic level of Urban Lights.
Yeah, at least for hip hop and R&B.
Exactly,
yeah, for hip hop and R&B, it's even if you didn't find records you wanted, you felt oh, this is a really cool spot. I'd hang out in and just look at, even if you're just checking out records, oh, this is dope. And so aesthetically looked pretty.
And how did the partnership with Urban Lights come about, and the partnership with AKA Kobe?
Yeah, me and Kobe has been homies for years. The first time I met Kobe was at MCTC 2014, and he was freestyling. It's not some Kobe story meet Kobe's freestyling. Me, him, and then my homie Tim, we're all tight, and we've gone to the Fifth Element open mics before they shut down in 2020. And then me and Kobe were hanging out one day. We're yo, man, there's no open mics in the scene. Again, I just started recording or trying to record music, so I want to see how people think of it. Poetry as well. And he was I told him yo, I know this record store at called Urban Lights. We could go over there and ask him yo, let's do it. Let's go check it out. And so we go run the idea by Tim. Tim's yo, I'm down. And I'm still running my mouth, telling him how we could do it. He's no, yo, I'm down.
Yeah,
put it together.
I'm sold.
Down.
Yeah.
So this is towards the end of September, and 2.5 weeks we end up starting the open mic. I came with a boom box, one of those big portable
karaoke.
The karaoke speaker boom box. It was dope though. We had 30, 40 people there or something like that.
Well, like you're saying, there was a need for it. You guys met the demand.
Yeah, there definitely was a need for it, and it was kind of I wasn't even trying to focus on turnout. I was just trying to focus on creating a safe space for people to come through. It wasn't even about getting more followers or trying to get my own name on the scene. It was just kind of yo, let's create a safe space where we can all get out of this madness that was happening across the city. So, yeah, man, it's crazy how like a year later, like what that place means for not only me but a lot of artists who came through. So
Yeah, so many artists.
yo, shout out Tim.
Yes.
Urban Life.
And if you haven't been there, that is University in
Dale? By Dale?
No, it's
No.
it's on the University. It's like Midway University.
Yeah, it's right off the Green Line.
Yeah, right off the Green
St.
Line,
Paul.
over near the new soccer stadium. So
Bing, bang,
It's
boom.
right next to Earth's, but not the Earth's.
I think it's like-
that's down the road.
you'd think I remember the address now, as many times I had to throw them on the flyers, but just type in Urban Lights on your maps. I guarantee you, it's gonna pop up.
If you're just tuning in, we are sitting down with VLAD G talking about just one of the many things he's involved in, one of the many facets of this Renaissance man. Make sure to follow him at The Real VLAD G. Check out Chose Mindset. What's that Instagram?
It's just chosen mindset, like literally
Chosen.
Yep.
Chose.
Chosen.
Oh my
chosen.
goodness.
CHOSE.
My producers are shaking their heads. I'm sorry. And then tell us a little bit more about Project Philo or Philo. You said that's an international collaboration.
Yeah, so they, I guess most people like to call it Project Philo. I like to say Philo personally, but no, yeah, one of my close homies, his name is Brandon. He's a close homie. Like he actually lives in like Kansas City, Missouri, but he has connections in Chicago as well. And so like me, him, and a bunch of other homies, we have like a culture group chat that we have, and like he's talked about his project Philo, like branding he's been working on, but he essentially like A&R'd a bunch of like dope artists through just online. So he's connected with some talent. He's connected with some talent that's in like London, some talent that's in like Ohio, like talent in Atlanta. Like there's DJs, singers, rappers, painters. Like it's a full-on international like creative collective. Like Gabe, the dude who designed that poetry like cover, he's from France. Like, and so yeah, and the whole, it's artists for artists. So like it's a creative hub that just supports artists and like trying to put the power back in the artists' hands and like make sure that they have their own platform, as well as just supporting their independence. And yeah, man, I've been a part of that collective for about a year now, or a little over a year. I started last like spring, and so I'm a creator there. So I like I share like my poetry on there, but also like articles I write up. They support me in anything I do. So if it's events that I'm doing, if I do decide to put out music or a film, like they're just really supportive, like everybody. So it's Brandon, him and his sister Lauren. They started it up, and yeah, just. It's nice to be a part of that, because now I know, like, if I do anything creatively, I have, like, a group and a team that supports me and keeps me inspired to create. So
that's
shout
huge
out to them.
to have that continued support and motivation.
Sounds like that's what you guys were trying to fill the gap, or fill what was missing with the open mic as well. It's cool that you, sounds like you're real tuned in to that, like the wave that artists can like give to each other, where it's like we can all
so
ride it, and
important.
it's like if I'm not making my best stuff this month, it's like maybe they are. So it's like if we're both on the same page, it's like it just looks like one continuous rush.
The goal is to knock down that gatekeeping, right? That gatekeeping of you have to be this cool, or you have to know this person, like trying to make creativity like open and accessible. Like
Accessible, exactly.
Yeah, and it's like with my open mics too, it's like, oh, maybe you're not a rapper, like you're just starting out. Okay. Oh, he's just starting to rap. No, like, oh, that's dope. You're starting to rap.
Yeah,
like,
this is the spot for you. Exactly.
So you can try it out, see if you like it. And even if you just like doing this, you can still always come, know that you'll have support. You're going to make friends, connections.
Know it's a safe space.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people they're mad talented, but they don't know any producers. They don't know people make beats, or they don't know where to record. And now it's like I feel like 2021 and on, especially here in the creative scene between the Twin Cities, if you're trying to be an artist, it's not hard to get involved or to meet people who are at least will be able to like point you to somewhere where you can go. Because right now, Urban Lights Open Mic. It's on like a holiday hiatus right now, but the Freight Room open mic is still going on every Tuesday. I was just talking to Good Boy like, yo, I love what you're doing over there. Keep doing that. Like, this is what creatives need. And, because Kobe, he's actually not hosting the open mics anymore. Technically, me and him aren't hosting it anymore.
Oh.
We're going to keep it alive, and I'm still going to be involved. I think right now I'm working on kind of rebranding it because Kobe not involved. He wants to focus on being an artist, which I understand.
Yeah, it takes so much time
AKA
doing other
Kobe
stuff.
Wax Spot just dropped. Check that out. But now I think for the open mic, and I've had a conversation with Tim's, how do we bring it back to where it's still that community we have, but also how can we help artists, established artists as well, come through and not only showcase their talents, but now be able to kind of, leverage it on the digital side or practice performing. And so a rebrand is in the works right now. And, I'm not saying for sure I won't host, but like I'm trying to find other people who want to help host or at least, maybe have featured artists, and then whoever those featured artists would help hosting. Kind of, just have different voices of the community. But
And give people that onstage experience too, because some people at these open mics have never been on stage to talk, let alone to sing or to rap, or to perform their poetry.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
So maybe like either I'm just brainstorming here. So like workshops or different colored name tags, like a red one for writer, blue one for producer, purple one.
Make it like a nice networking event.
Very collegiate.
Yeah.
And treat it very professional as it should be.
Well, no, absolutely. And so, me and Tim, we have conversations. We got some cool ideas that we have want to do, and there's other people within the creative community I'm trying to see I can partner with, because again, it's about keeping that creative ecosystem amongst the Twin Cities, like, on the page where everybody's rooting for each other. So if it's like Urban Lights supporting Waterwave or the Freight Room, or if it's Live on Lake Street, like how can we have this creative pipeline where artists know that their hard work will at least give them an opportunity to get on stage. And so, because then you don't want, because again, trying to end that gatekeeping, right? Where it's like, oh, you're mad talented, you're cool, you got the work, but it's like, oh, you're not part of this clique, so you're not going to get on stage.
Or you only got 50 followers, sorry.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So there's been some crazy talent that doesn't have the crazy amount of followers, but like they perform better than some of the real professionals, you know what I mean? So
yeah, we were wondering if because you've hosted a few shows now.
Oh, yeah.
And, and how can I put this? So what do you think is holding the Twin Cities back? A lot of people will be like gatekeeping, yada, yada, yada. A lot of people will be like, just basically like not telling people where you're getting your cheap beats from because you want to be the only one getting cheap beats from that person. Or do you think it's more, because like I said, you've hosted shows. We got all the artists who want to make it doing artists, like showing up ahead of time and like making it for everything, or do you see some like lack of professionalism in the scene?
Yeah, what do you think the biggest thing's holding
the
Renaissance back, right?
That's a really good question, and it's been one that's been around for years. I think one of the biggest issues, and me and a lot of rappers have talked about this, is that there wasn't enough support amongst artists. Like when you look at some of the Chicago scene or Atlanta scene, New York, and even maybe Cali, a lot of those, even if you're in a like small in just the cities of LA and stuff, they had artists where.
We gotta take another break. So I asked you right before the headiest question before the break. SunDogs TC, the real VLAD G.
We'll be right back here on SunDogs Present.
Local vibes.
And now we're right back here. Welcome back to SunDogs Present Local Vibes. What are the biggest obstacles holding artists in the Twin Cities back from achieving greatness? Or what's holding the Renaissance from?
Yeah, you're saying artist support. That's where you're at.
I think
there was a lack of it.
There needs to be a community that, like, we need to continue to have a strong community that supports artists. And I mean, like, communities that aren't clicked up. So one of the issues that I always notice is, like, people who throw on certain shows or certain events, they only had certain crowds, or people came to see certain artists. They didn't come to see the other artists performing. And so, what I try to do when I throw my shows, I try to pull in artists from different groups. Like, I know you have this crowd, I know you have this crowd. Like, okay, let's put you together. Let's organize your time slots to where, the larger crowds have to see certain artists. So, you can actually get new followers or a new fan base. And so here in the Twin Cities, everybody needs to, like, support each other more. And so, again, like, that's where I think, like, what you guys are doing is great, because you're shouting out all the people who are putting on for the community. And, that's just what needs to keep going. And then as well as far as artists getting big, just continuing to, like, that support is going to go a long way. Like Libianca, if you guys are familiar with
I think
her.
I just started following that account because of one of your posts,
Yeah, she was just on The Voice. And yeah, she was just on The Voice, and she's mad talented. I think she's only like 20 years old. I met her just like once at like my open mic like earlier this year, but she had a lot of different outlets supporting her. Waterwave was supporting her.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Sorry, it took me a second.
Waterwave was supporting her. She had some other like promoters supporting her, telling her, "Oh, yo, go vote for Libianca on The Voice." Like, the word was getting spread around. I don't actually like watch like cable, so I don't know like where she ended up finishing off. But like, I mean, if you look now, I think months ago she probably like 3K followers or something. Now she had like 14. But that everybody rallying behind her to support her is what helped her at least build momentum. She's mad talented alone already, but like that additional support from the Twin Cities helped her.
Huge.
Yeah. So
you can't do it alone. Even if you are wickedly talented and wickedly cool and wickedly professional, you're still going to need a team, if not an army of people behind.
Yeah, you need a team. Like, and I think it's like, because I'm not saying like, oh, you gotta be friends with everybody, but it's kind of like, okay, if I want to make it, I know I need to have a producer I'm gonna connect with, right? I know I'm gonna probably have an artist manager who's more like a partner, if anything, but also I'm gonna need to like know how to network and be cool with certain outlets. So like, if I know this artist is mad talented and I got a connection to First Avenue or for getting them on First Ave, and that might be the show that like helps them get to the next level. Like, if you're for your artists in the community here, why would you not do that, right? Because if they get that spotlight, they blow up. Next thing you know, you might see a ripple effect of other artists blowing up. And so it's kind of like, instead of that crab in the barrel mentality, that you gotta uplift each other as like a community. Because it's like when XXXTentacion and like Florida, he got big, right? Then like Ski Mask came out, right? Then like I don't know all of the artists from that area, but a lot of more Florida artists started coming on the scene. It's the same thing. So it's just about like, because once one person pops with a sound from an area, like it's just like a ripple effect and it's trendy. But it's hard because it's like Minneapolis and people don't think like there's actually like
a sound. What do you think the Minneapolis or Twin City sound is?
Oh man, for so long it's been like whatever Rhymesayers are doing, right? Mm-hmm. So it was always just kind of, and I mean, I'm not trying to diss Rhymesayers at all, but I felt like they were kind of holding back the city because there wasn't enough cosigns on the artists.
They could have helped a lot more people.
Yeah, they could have helped a lot more, especially with the label and you know they had some people be able to go in the sound set. I don't know if they like ran that, but you know the sound for the Twin Cities, man. There's so many different sounds depending on where you go. Honestly, like I think like this you know Minnesota in general, like Prince came out of here. There's so many actual instrumentalists that came out of here, and there's so much talent that actually makes it out here. They're just not as popular, so people think, oh, it's dead here. It's just like, if you actually think about it, there's so much talent that does leave here. They just quietly are doing other things, and we don't know because we didn't, like, hype them up, because we didn't, they weren't part of our clique, so I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? So.
And then, you know, LA-based band is different than band from Minneapolis.
Yeah,
you know?
Sounds cooler.
Sounds way cooler.
That's another thing too. A lot of artists too, they gotta take pride in coming from here. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up I was born in New Jersey, and I still love my East Coast roots, even though I grew up here. But like my sisters grew up over there, so there's a certain like musical influences that I actually like. Like I'm still a big like Nas fan, like Joey Badass. I'm a big fan of his. ASAP Rocky's awesome. But it's like if I'm ever doing anything somewhere or meeting somewhere, like I'm from Minneapolis, like South Minneapolis, and so like you know you gotta be proud from where you're from. But you know if people feel like I'm from Minneapolis, they take pride in that. Then when they go to other places, or if they do branch off, now people are looking, that talent came from Minneapolis.
Exactly. What else is from Minneapolis?
Yeah.
How do you think that East Coast sound mixed with this Minneapolis sound came out in For Southside? His most recent release.
VLAD G's first and most recent release.
Yeah, I put out so For Southside put out it's my first ever like project. It's crazy. I didn't think that I would put out a project at least this soon. I mean, like it was just kind of like, I just got mad inspired. I was like, I actually put out the whole project there in like 30 days. It's crazy. Like I had like 3 different events that I was doing in the month, but like there's a lot of nights where I was just writing, or like some of the tracks on there, like I like wrote them a week before the project actually even dropped. But the homies that rap, like Kobe's from the East Coast, my homie Jamal, aka Ransom Logic, he's from the East Coast. Like they influenced me on kind of trying to get my bars up. Like I feel like I still gotta like prove to like my homies, like I can rap as well as you guys. Let me just try. You guys have been doing it for years. I've just been freestyling. Let me actually pick up the pen and try to like keep up. So I think like from a competitive standpoint, it's fun to try to like compete with them there. But But as far as like being a big artist, like making it, it's not really like my like end goal. Like I'd rather support artists and be someone who can help another artist get to another like stage. But like as far as making music, like that's fun. Like rapping is fun. Like my last event that I did was a Halloween showcase.
Where at?
It was at Creative Minneapolis.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, we opened up the cypher. We had like a contest where like we had like 5 different artists be able just freestyle on some beats. And like man, rapping is just like fun. And so that project, it was really like that was a personal project for sure. When we talk about the origin name of VLAD G, For Southside, grew up in South Minneapolis, it's kind of like, I'm going to give you these fun bars and stuff, but you're going to learn a little bit about me with that project. So, that's kind of how it came about. Yeah,
your rep sent over 2 tracks, For Southside featuring Trademark and For the Fan featuring K-Tones.
Yeah.
That's track 3 and the closing track off the project.
So,
we're going to be playing those songs here in about 5 minutes. Tell us a little bit about them.
For Southside, Yeah, man, my homie Trademark, he's actually just in there like, yo, Bloomington, Franklin, Portland, like all the avenues over South Minneapolis. Then I get into it, but it was just like it's just South Minneapolis. I feel like you grew up in South Minneapolis. You can like just mess with that track. It's kind of got like that, a little bit of like that boom bap, kind of like Twin Cities, Midwest
he's
vibe.
from Free 99, right?
Yeah,
From back with AKA Kobe.
Yeah,
And,
yes. I love that you know that. That's how you know Trademark's been in the scene. Yeah. For me, I'm trying to get him back in the scene. He's
Get him
actually
to
doing
move
like
back.
a dope podcast, but he's so dope, bro. That's like my brother. I was actually with him like yesterday.
Yeah,
and
cool artist.
Yeah, and then For the Fam, that's a song dedicated to my family, like, and when I was just growing up in South Minneapolis, so there's references there for like my sisters, my mom, my pops, and so like that one, man, like I went to the park that I grew up in to like I laid in the grass and wrote that song.
Wow.
And so that's my favorite song on the project, just because it was the most emotional one for me. So
And it closes it off so perfectly.
Yeah.
It closes the project off. You can listen to 4 Southside right now on Spotify, Apple Music, everything pretty much.
It's on streaming everywhere. So
There are 2 interludes in the project. One which follows 4 Southside, the 3rd track. Tell us about your choice to use interludes in the project.
Yo, I feel like interludes are important because they're kind of like breaks, act breaks, but also like ways to kind of like keep the project cohesive. Like this is not like a playlist, it's not a compilation. But the one with Trademark is kind of showing off like my personality. We're clowning about how I was in the studio in LA, like super chopped and like trying to record. I'm like sleeping while the producer's playing my vocals and like we're just talking about LA scene. So it's just kind of like got the humor off. And then the second interlude, that was just kind of shouting out all the artists who inspired me and like the Urban Lights and Open Mic, just kind of me getting onto the scene. And like that interlude kind of just talks about why I like got inspired to make the project essentially. So
It's nice. Definitely the interludes make it feel like a project.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that for sure.
Definitely. They're important. I know like we're in an era where like, the TikTok era where like people are gonna like they want the instant gratification,
Shorter the
but
better,
like
yeah.
Up to 15-second clip.
Singles.
but interludes are still important. I want artists to know that too, because I know artists feel like people aren't gonna listen to their project, but like those people who do, they appreciate those interludes, man. So
Any final advice to artists who have never released a track or have never gotten on the stage? We're out of here in about 1 minute.
yeah, be intentional about why you want to do whatever. Why do you want to rap? Why do you want to sing? Like, be intentional about it. If it's for yourself, it's for your group, it's for to have fun, for to express, if it's to work on just like your speech, be intentional about what you want to do. If you want to perform, why do you want to perform? To be better at public speaking, to see how good you can get it. Like, really ask yourself those questions. And another thing, get over that self-doubt. And then put out your projects. Calhoun, I'm shouting you out. Drop your projects. Righteous MC. Shout out my homie DJ LP. Shout out my fam. Shout out Nancy. Shout out Southside. You already know. I gotta do the shout outs. You feel me? Like, shout out Tim Urban Lights, aka Kobe. Shout out my nephew. It was his birthday yesterday. Shout out Baby G.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Yo,
That's our
y'all,
show
man.
for this week. This has been SunDogs Present Local Vibes.
Bow wow.
Yo, this that Cedar, 38, Hiawatha, Lake Street, Franklin, Chicago, Portland, Bloomington.
Southside, we outside, yeah, you know the vibes. Southside, we outside, yeah, you know the vibes. Southside, we outside, yeah, you know the vibes.
Free 99.
The Twin Cities, that's where I currently reside. Created new waves and we don't have any rides. Moving swift like water's going down on slides. Cross me, I don't know if I ever let it slide. I don't ever like to lie, never cap like lids. Never say it's gas when it's really fucking mids. Grown selling packs, take care of your kids. Baby mama on your back, she won't let you live. mapping guide. Smoking right just to go and catch a vibe. So wet, I might go and take a dive. She tryna kill me with that wop, I might not survive. Take a chance, rolling the dice. The advice of a gambler, I don't roll it twice. A split, I want it whole, not the slice. You know that I'm Haitian, so I'm eating rice. Then I lay out the price. Advances, that's no. Pay it in full or you gotta go. I break cash flows like sticks when they glow. Even in dark, I be seeing that dough I could get, then it grow. Visuals of money trees, do you see the metaphor? Working till there isn't anything that I can't afford. I ain't saying fours, but enough to buy a cause while I travel through flights, first class that I board. I only strive for more like LeBron chasing goals. The greatest got a heart like bread when it toast. I keep the heat hot enough for chicken on the roast. I prefer the east when we talking about coast. One take.
Woke up thinking about my childhood. I was a badass kid. My mom would give me a Snicker bar when I would throw temper tantrums. I was so close to my grocery store. I remember going into the store with just my drawers on, looking for her when she left home. I'm in sentiment, this one for them. I appreciate the moments I can never take for granted. Playing outside, scrape my knee on the granite. My mama right there, she my world, that's my planet. Tamara left too soon and I still can't understand it. I appreciate my siblings cause they always right there. Even when we fight, I know they really care. Pop's always working, he was never there. He did it for the family, I know the love is there. I know that there's sunshine, even when it's dark. I do it for my family, it's truly from the heart. This life is not easy, I'm feeling all the stars. They're healing up to me, so I got to make the start. I know that there's sunshine, even when it's dark. I do it for my family, it's truly for... keep it going on. Back in the days where $1 was enough, that's 2 bag of chips and 1 Reese's cup. Grew up on 38, we always hit up Cup. Big sis told me how her homies stick them up. Her hood stories always kept me leveled in my teens. Some make it out the hood, some never see they dream. Southside, we outside, yeah, that was the theme. Shout out to my sisters for taking care of me. I know that there's sunshine, even when it's dark. I do it for my family, it's truly from the heart. This life is not easy, I'm feeling all the stars. They're healing up to me, so I got to make the start. I know that there's sunshine, even when it's dark. I do it for my family, it's truly from the heart. This life is not easy, I'm feeling all the stars. They're healing up to me, so I got to make the start. Full Southside, rest in paradise, Mom, Tamara. Shout out my family, my brothers. Shout out J-Hart for the production, K-Tones for the engineering. Southside, much love. VLAD G.